Immigration is back in the spotlight, with President Trump railing against Somalis in Minnesota and Tucker pressing Piers over in Londonistan. Elon Musk reposted the global minority meme, lamenting our rapidly diminishing stake in the world and in the country our ancestors founded. Still, our near minority status is a relatively new development. How did we fall so far, so fast? Answer: because of federal legislation enacted 2 generations ago. It was the greatest fraud ever committed against the American people. Here we tell the little-known story of the 1965 Hart-Celler Act. Many thanks to our new subscribers. If you like the material, I have a whole library of similar videos on my channel. Please hit the like button and share, and if you'd like to support my work, there's a link down below where you can buy me a coffee. Now back to the story. 5 years before his assassination, then-Senator John F. Kennedy wrote a short book called A Nation of Immigrants. In it, he argued for changes to the national origins quota system, which had been in place since the Immigration Act of 1924. In 1964, his younger brother, Senator Edward Ted Kennedy, continued his late brother's mission as head of the Senate Immigration Subcommittee. Bills introduced by Phil Hart in the Senate and by Emanuel Celler in the House culminated in the final bill signed by President Lyndon Johnson in 1965 at the base of the Statue of Liberty. Despite traveling 200 miles to stage a photo opportunity with his party members, Johnson downplayed the importance of the new law, saying, quote, "This bill that we will sign today is not a revolutionary bill. It does not affect the lives of millions. It will not reshape the structure of our daily lives." As subcommittee chairman, Ted Kennedy remarked, quote, "All cities will not be flooded with 1 million immigrants annually. Under the proposed bill, the present level of immigration remains substantially the same. Secondly, the ethnic mix of this country will not be upset." Another enlightening quote comes from one of the bill's namesakes, Representative Emanuel Celler of New York. He had spent 40 years arguing against restriction and had opposed the 1924 legislation in the House. He said, "Quota immigration under the bill is likely to be more than 80% European." These statements were made to reassure the voting public. Patrick Buchanan reports in his book Suicide of a Superpower that a 1965 Harris poll showed that Americans by a 2-to-1 margin had said that they did not want any increase to immigration. Contrarian authoress Ann Coulter, in her book Adios, America, argues that the new law opened the gates to immigration from the Third World, from which 90% of the legal immigrants have come since 1970. The promoters of this bill clearly knew the decimating effect it would have, but in their grasping for power and votes, they opted to put one over on the American people. Our percentage in the population has fallen from around 90% in 1960 to roughly 57% in 2020, and no doubt still less today. If this displacement had happened to any other people, it would be called a genocide. Of course, there are millions of people celebrating this, and no matter how one feels about it, what cannot be denied is that the 1965 social engineers lied, and as a result, the ethnic mix of our country has been forever altered as we edge closer to minority status by the minute. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out a few more right here? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.